Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Asana. If you're new here, hi, welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to crochet lacy bloomers. They look like this. They are super easy and beginner friendly. If you're interested to know how I made this, then keep on watching. For this tutorial you'll be needing some yarn. I'm using this 100% acrylic yarn in a, I want to say, light sports weight or maybe a fingering weight. It looks like this. And I'm also going to be using a 4mm crochet hook. You will need a tape measure, some stitch markers, and a pair of scissors. So get all your supplies and let's get into this tutorial. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here. Okay guys, to start with, you're going to chain multiple of fives, enough to go around your hips. When I made this one, the first one I made, I simply just chained multiples of fives to wrap around my hips. But for this one, I want to try out the foundation half double crochets because it is a lot more stretchier. But you don't have to. You can just chain multiple of fives and then half double crochets when you're done. I'll show you how to do the foundation half double crochets in case you don't know how to. To make foundation half double crochets, you slip stitch and then you chain to 1, 2. If you turn your yarn to the back, so this is the front, if you turn it to the back, you see this bump at the back. I like to work into this bump because it secures the half double crochet. So you yarn over like so, then you insert your hook into that bump at the back, just picking up the bump like this, yarn over, you pull through. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. You yarn over and pull through the last one or the first one, so you still have 3. Then you yarn over and pull through all 3. So now you have made your first foundation half double crochet. Again, you yarn over like so. Now if you turn your stitches to the back, you can see this V. You have this loop here and this one. So I will suggest that you pick this one, the first one and the second one. I hope you guys can see. So again, let me show you that again. You yarn over, then you turn your work. You can see this V here. You insert your hook and pick the 2 so that your project is secure. Then you yarn over, you pull through. Now you have 3 loops on your hook like so. You yarn over, pull through the first one. You still have 3 loops on your hook and then you yarn over, pull through all 3. I'll show you that again. Yarn over, you turn your work. You can see the next V here. You insert your hook into the both loops. So this 2 here, you can see this V. Then you yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first one. Yarn over, pull through all 3. So this is how you make the foundation half double crochets. Let me show you that one more time. Yarn over, you flip your work to the other side. So now this is the front. You flip it. You can see this V here. If you pick just this one like this, you have this hole. It will be too gapy, so it will be better to pick the 2. So you pick this one, and then you pick the other one that is next to it on this other side, just the 2 V's like so. Sorry about that. Yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the last one. Yarn over, pull through all 3. Again, yarn over, insert your hook into this V. You can see, I hope you guys can see the V. This one, 1, 2. You insert your hook into the 2 like so. Yarn over, pull through. You have 3. Yarn over, pull through the last one. Then yarn over, pull through all 3 like so. So this is how you make your foundation half double crochets. You do this in multiples of 5s, enough to go around your hips, and then you come back. I'll show you what to do. Now if you are using like an acrylic yarn like I am, I'm using this yarn. It's very thin and a 4mm hook. You have to account for the fact that this is going to stretch out. If you are using a yarn that is like cotton that doesn't stretch as much, you also have to understand how your yarn works. So if you are using a yarn that stretches out, you will not chain enough to be, say for instance, your hips is 41 inches. and you're using a yarn that stretches, you now chain multiples of 5 to be 41 inches because it's going to stretch out. You do say like 34, 35, 36 at most, because then if you do 41, the chain's long enough for your hips, it will be too big around your waist. Although we're going to be putting a lace up tie, like I have here, but still you don't want to make it too big so that it doesn't have too much fabric around your waist, unless that's what you're going for. So if you like the feel of more fabric, maybe like gathered fabric around your waist, then you can do even more than 41 if your hips is 41. I'm referencing 41 because my hips is 41. So now I'm going to do half double crochets in multiples of 5s, enough to go around my hips. I have my foundation half double crochets for the measurement that I would like. This is what it looks like this. It's stretchy. I'm just going to make sure that I have this flat and then slip stitch the ends together. So these two ends, I'm just going to slip stitch like this. So this is going to be the back where I slip stitch. Let me show you what this one looks like. So this is the back of the short. You can see this line running straight down across. So this is the back. I'm going to count out 20 chains on this side and then the other side, and I'll put a stitch marker. After putting my stitch markers on both sides, so this is the back, like I said earlier. What you're going to do is, remember we chained one already, we're going to chain an extra two. So that means at the start of every round we are chaining 3. So we chain another 2, 1, 2. Then you count 5 chain spaces from your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So into this space you're going to work your first double crochet into that space. 1, work a second one into the same space. 2, then you chain 1 like so, then work another double crochet into the same space. So now you have your first cluster of 3 double crochets into the same chain space. Then you chain 1, you count 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into this 5th space you work your double crochet 1, you work another double crochet into the same space. 2, you chain 1 and work another one into the same space. Now you have your second cluster like so. You continue to do the same thing until you get to this stitch marker. So I've gotten to where my stitch marker is, so the 20th chain space. Since this is the back, this is where the bum goes, I want to place increases just at the back for this first couple of rows so that it can fit the best. So I have my first cluster here. I'm going to chain 1 and put another cluster into the same space. So 1, 2, chain 1, 3. So in this stitch marker space I have 6 double crochets in total. So next I'm going to chain 1, count 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into this 5th space I'm going to work in my double crochet. I'll continue to do the same thing until I get to this stitch marker. Alright guys, I've completed the first round. So when I got to the stitch marker point, I just placed an increase like we did here. So looking here, you can see that I have 6 clusters. So now we're going to chain 3 at the beginning of this round, like so. I'm just trying to focus. 1, 2, 3, and then you turn your work. So always remember to turn your work. That's how you get that straight seam running down the back like this one. If I can find it. Okay, it's so blended in that sometimes I can't even find it, but this is it. Here you can see the straight seam running down. So the trick to that is to make sure you turn your work the other way. So now that's what I'm going to do. So you're going to be placing your first double crochet into that chain space. So here, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 1, then 3 double crochets. Next, you chain one, you place your double crochet into that chain space from the previous row. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, chain one. Don't forget to chain one, then 3. Next, chain one, 1, 2, chain one, then 3, chain one. So now we are coming up to where we placed our first increase. We're going to place another set of increases on this second row. So what we are going to do is you place your first cluster into this chain space. 1, 2, chain one, then another one, like so. Chain one. So in between these two clusters, you know we chained one. So I'm going to place one in between. So one, did you guys see that? Let me show you again. So this is the first cluster, this is the second cluster. There's a chain space in between, just like the other ones too. There's a chain space in between every cluster. So you're going to work your double crochet in between that cluster. You remember that we have been putting our clusters into the double crochet clusters and not in between, but because we're trying to place another increase here, we're going to put it in between. So double crochet first, one, second, chain one, third, then chain one again. So now we're going to place another one into the second cluster from the previous row, the chain space. 1, 2, chain one, then 3. So if you look at this row, the first round here, you see that you have two clusters, 1, 2. The second one we have 3 clusters, 1, 2, 3. So we have put in one increase here. So again, you just continue to work your clusters into the chain spaces until you get to the increase place here, until you get to this increase spot here where you're going to be placing another cluster, another increase cluster. So 3 on that side. I hope that makes sense. So no other increases or decreases anywhere else besides from where your stitch marker is. Okay, I've come to the end of the second round. It looks like this. So I've completed my cluster like so. I'm just going to chain one and slip stitch here my first 3 chains, the top. Sometimes I just even put it, honestly, I don't really bother too much about it. So you can see that the seam is straight. So again, you're going to chain 3. We are now on the third row. 1, 2, 3. You turn your work. Don't forget to turn your work. You work your first double crochet into that chain space like you did in the first 2 rounds. Nothing different. Continue to do this till you get to this increase, and I'll tell you what to do. I have come to the clusters, these 3 clusters where I placed my increases. So on the third row, I will not be placing any increases. I'm just going to work this as normal. So I've chained one. I'll work my first cluster into this chain space. 1, 2, 3, like so. This is my first cluster. Sorry, I forgot to chain one. Please don't forget to chain one. Chain one, then work it into like so. Then you chain one, no increases or decreases. So you're going to work your next cluster into this space here. So 1 double crochet here, another one here, 2, chain one, and another one. So second one, and the last one into the next cluster here. 1, 2, chain one, and 3. So the third row does not have any increases. I'm just going to do the same thing till I get to the fourth row, where I'm going to be showing you how to do bubble stitches. They look like this. Very easy to make. So it's a 4-row repeat. After 3 rows of these double crochet clusters, then you do a 4th row with bubble stitches. Then go back to the 3 double crochets clusters for 3 rows or rounds. Then this one, the 4th round will be this. I have now completed the third round. So I'm going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn my work and yarn over. So now we're doing the bubble stitches. I'm going to yarn over once. After I yarn over into the chain space, I'll place my hook and yarn over. So I'll pull through. I have 3 loops on the hook. I yarn over again, so 2. Do that again, 3. Do the same thing, 4. The same thing, 5. You can stop at 4, 3 if you'd like, but I like the size of doing that. Yarning over 5 times. Then I'll yarn over and pull through all this loop. So I have 2 loops on my hook, and then I'll yarn over and pull through 2. I'll chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So to start the round for the bubble stitches, you chain 6, but in between the bubble stitches, you chain 4. I'll yarn over once, place my hook into the chain space. I'll pull. Remember to pull your loops tall so that everything is not squished. I like to use my index finger to hold this down just to support it. Then I'll yarn over second time, insert in the same spot, 2, holding it down, 3, 4, 5. Then I'll pull through everything except from the last 2. Then I'll pull through the last two. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Into this chain space here, I'll yarn over, insert my hook into the chain space down here. 1, I'm using this my index finger to hold it down. 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 5th one. Now yarn over, I'll pull through. Yarn over, pull through. I'll continue to do this for the 4th round. No increases, no decreases. Just making sure I remember to chain 4 in between. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coming on to the end of the 4th round, I have just put my last bubble stitch. So I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then slip stitch here where I started. And I'll chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Because now we are doing the clusters. Remember to turn your work. I will here on top of the bubble stitch, I'll place 1 double crochet. I'll place another one, chain 1, then place a 3rd one. Then I'll chain 1 and place another another cluster on top of the next bubble stitch. So I'll continue to do this until I get to where I place my increases from the previous row. So this is the 5th row now. Now I have gotten to where I placed my increase from the 1st row. So it's going to be the same thing. It's a 4-row repeat. So now what you're going to do is on the 5th row, you're going to place increase here. I like to do the center here. This is where my increase was before. So I like to trace it down and do the center. So all you're going to do is in the same, like on top of the same bubble stitch, after I chained 1, I'm going to place another 3 double crochet clusters. So 1, 2, chain 1, and then 3. So on the 5th row, I've placed an increase, and I'll continue to do the same 3 double crochet clusters until I get to this side of the project. So the other side where I placed the increase. If you look at this one I made, I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but like if you look at it closely, you'll see that there's an increase here. There's another one here. So essentially we are repeating the first 4 rows. So it's a 4-row repeat. First row we have an increase, second row we have another increase. Then the 3rd and 4th rows will not have any increases. So the 3rd row is also going to be a 3 double crochet cluster, and then the 4th row will be a bubble stitch. You continue to do this until you complete another 4-row cluster. So this is the first one, the first cluster where the bubble stitches stop. You can see that I place increases here. This is where it will stop as well, the other one. So when you complete this second 4 repeats, I'll show you what to do. If you feel like after the first four row repeat increase and the second four row repeat increase. You don't need any increases to get to your measurements. Then you no longer place increases. You just crochet till you get to the height or the rise that you would like for your shorts to be. But if you need an extra one, I'll show you what to do. I have completed the second four row repeat and I'm now on the ninth row. I'm going to place another increase when I get here, and this might possibly be the last four row repeats where I'm going to be placing an increase depending on when I measure it. But if you think you need more room, then you can continue to increase. Then after you finish all your increases, you're just going to crochet this four row repeat until you get the desired rise that you like. So for this one, the first one I made, before I split for the ties, I got to about 11.5 inches, but I don't want this one to be very high waisted, so I'm going to do about 9. You can do whatever rise you like, or if you want it higher or lower, you can do whatever rise you like. Then when you get your desired rise, I'll show you how to split for the ties. Okay guys, so I have gotten to the point where I want to split for the ties. I have about 8 inches, but when I stretch this, I know that it's going to be more than 8 inches. And I said earlier in the video that I didn't want the rise to be too high like the other one. So now I change 25. So whatever you do, change multiples of 5, because you know we started with multiples of 5 from here. So I have 25, I've changed 25, and now I'm just going to slip stitch here. I've also measured my center. I'll slip stitch here, and then I will cut my yarn here. The reason why I'm cutting my yarn is because I do not want the seam to be running down the front, because this is the front and this is the back. So I don't want this seam running down the front, because if I were to continue from there, I'm going to have a seam in the front. I prefer to have my seam in the middle of the tie, so middle of the legs here. Some people prefer to have their seam at the back here, so just choose. So now what I'm going to do is find the middle of this and attach my yarn here. Another thing I need to mention is where I stopped, I have 2 rounds of these clusters, these 3 double crochet clusters. If you stop like on a third one, or maybe the bubble stitch, then you know where to continue from. So now I know that I need one more round of these 3 double crochet clusters before I start my bubble stitch. So another thing I like to do is to know where I'm going from here, like what side I'm going to be crocheting on. I like to look at my stitches. You can see, I don't know if it is showing up properly here on camera, but like you should be able to tell the right side from the back side, or the back side from the right. So now I can see that this is where I would have worked my stitches. So this back side, this is the front and this is the back. You can see from this chain spaces here on top of the stitches. So I know that this is where I would rather go, or here. I'm not going to go the other way where I'm going to be crocheting in the front. So now you can see from here that this is the back, so I will be crocheting towards this, in this direction. I'm just going to attach my yarn where I have put my crochet hook and slip stitch. Then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Work my first double crochet, work another 1, 2, chain 1, and work the last one into the same spot. So essentially I'm just going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to go all the way and back, so I have 1 round, and then the next thing I'm going to do is the bubble stitches. I will do this for as long as I want the thighs or the legs to be, so that's based on your preference. I'll come back to show you what to do on the other leg. Okay, I need to show you something really quickly. When I picked out the center of these chains in between the legs, I did not exactly count. So You might have a situation where when you count the remaining chain before you join to the main body of the short, it's not up to 5. So here is 1, 2, 3. It's fine. So just work your double crochet clusters into this chain space. So don't worry about it in case that happens, like for you. So 3. So it's fine. I'm just going to continue to work all the way around till I get here where I'm going to slip stitch. Guys, so I have completed one leg of the short. You can make this as long or as short as you prefer. So now you can see where the seam of the ties runs down the middle here. So if you're looking at the short from the front, you will not be able to see the seam. So I like to put my seam in between the ties so that it doesn't scream seam in your face. You guys know how I am about seams. So now to crochet or to do the same thing on the other side of the leg, I'm just going to attach my yarn to where I started from, which is here, and I will essentially just slip stitch this on to the other side like so. So again, I need to figure out what direction I'm going towards. Sorry guys, this thing is getting blown up. So I am looking at what direction I need to go. I'm seeing that I need to go this way rather than this way because this is where my back is, which is where I would normally put my stitches. So what I'm just going to do is I will chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and into this space here, the chain space. Hold on guys, I hope you can see this. So into this chain spaces, that's where I'm going to put my clusters, so which is here 1, 2, chain 1, and then 3, chain 1. Then I'll move to the next chain space, which is here. So I'm just doing the same thing, and I'm going to do essentially everything I've done on this leg. Focus. So I'm going to do everything I've done on this leg on this other side, and the short will be completed. Okay guys, this is the final look. This is what the short looks like. I just put in a lace of time. With this you can make a skirt, maxi skirt, mini skirt. You can even make pants. Just continue to go in rounds in the 4-row repeat, and you can actually do a lot with this 4-row repeat pattern. You can make a shirt. Comment down below if you like me to make a shirt out of these stitches. But yeah, this is what it looks like. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.